Welcome to the first episode of the Nonchalant podcast. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. So
introduce yourself.
What?
Introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Chase Mango. We got co-host
Brad Stone
and our special guest today, Mr. Hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Hunt. You've done a lot of stuff, right? Like I don't even know like the type of stuff that you did, because it feels like every day you just like drop more lore on us of like you worked with like these huge artists. Like, is there like any artist specifically that's like somebody that's like the biggest artist you ever worked with?
Well, I mean, it depends on what the genre is, you know?
Well, like in total, like what's your
Everything
biggest?
together.
I'm not really sure, because it all depends. You know, it's like I've done some stuff with Thrice, but that was more of like they came in the studio and they were being interviewed from across the coast. They were on this show called Modern Rock Live, which was aired on 103.3, and that was like a national show. So I did a couple of those with them, and then I did something like a live to air broadcast with Bare Naked Ladies. I did another one with Ani DeFranco.
Dang. So lots of big names.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it that like you will do for them? Because like I know you're in the studio, but is there anything specifically you do in the studio, like other than like working the board and stuff?
I mean, obviously it's making them feel comfortable, and it's miking everything up, recording it, but keeping the session moving. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes they can get caught on a specific part or something, and then you just try to get them to possibly come back to that part later. You know, if it's starting to frustrate them.
Can you walk us through your typical workflow in the studio?
So if it's the first day of the studio, I'll usually get there. I mean, any session that I do, I try to get there a half hour to an hour early, just to kind of turn everything on and get the lights on, make a pot of coffee, things like that. But then when the band shows up, and I usually ask them to have the drummer show up earlier, because they're going to be the ones that take the most time.
Yeah.
And that way you don't have to have someone like who's anxious to record, like start feeling like all we're doing is waiting around for these. How long is this going to take? What's going on?
Yeah.
So I try to get the drummer there early. Not that the rest of the band can't show up at the same time, but they may not want to
just
be a part of that. So normally when I'm setting them up, I'll get the drum set first, and that gives me time to get to know the drummer a bit. Like if I don't know them, I get to know what their interests are, what they're looking to try to do, what kind of drum sounds they're looking for, and then add in everyone into the mix. So instead of like getting everybody mic'd up and then getting levels, I try to do it like, let's get the drum set up, let's get drum sounds okay. Now let's add the bass player, then add the guitar players. That way you can kind of get everyone in there, but you're also taking care of people and kind of checking them off the list as you go through it. You know, it's like if you have 5 people in front of you, and let's say the bassist is having a problem with the headphones, and maybe the vocalist mic isn't working the way it should be, or there's some issues with it, or maybe there's a drum mic that's not working. Now you have to figure out which one of those 3 problems you're going to fix first, as opposed to, I know the drummer is good, I know they can hear the headphones, let's move on to the next person. Because it's probably going to take the same amount of time anyways, but at least you know that it's all set.
Yeah.
Like you can move on from it.
Yeah. How long are you usually like in the studio for? Like I know it varies, but like usually
if it's a day lockout, so a day lockout doesn't mean 24 hours. It just means that you have it for the day. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be pushed out by a session coming in right after you. A day session is usually 10 to 12 hours.
Wow. Dang. How do you like not get bored?
Well, I mean, it's part of the creative process, so it's like you can sit there and you can see how things are done. You know, you can, depending on the project, you may be able to give some input on parts. You know, like some groups know what they want, and they really just want the engineer to
just record it.
And they were, not that they're not open to talking to you, but they may not want your input. And you can kind of get that when you have a pre-production meeting with them of like, all right, when do you want to come in? How long do you want to spend? Are you looking to, spend
How does
hour wise, not necessarily money wise?
How does a pre-production meeting work?
So I just try to find out as much as I can about what we're doing. So then I know, is there going to be any friends of the band coming in to record at some point? Are we doing one song? Are we doing 5 songs? Is there a deadline for this? Do they have an idea of like what they want it to sound like? Like maybe reference recordings, like maybe they want the drums to sound like a Metallica drum set, or maybe they want it to sound like an old jazz drum set, but just things that they can tell me. I've got something, I'll see if I can find it. There's a group that I'm working with in a couple weeks, and they sent me notes for things, but they sent me like what the tempo is going to be. They sent me how many guitar parts they're looking for. They gave me some references to listen to, what amplifiers they want to use. I don't want to like weast your time and search through.
We're good. We're good.
But they're all the same, but different. It's like it's the same process, but each project is different. It's not like it's always going to be this or it's always going to be that.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any? Because I have another.
Oh, are you pulling up that?
Yeah, I'm looking for the.
So it's really just like basic overview of what you're going to be doing, so then you don't have to do it there, and you just know. Yeah,
I kind of like to know what we're doing.
So you don't have to figure it out, while
you're there. Like if I know we're gonna be doing, I don't know, 2 songs, and one day I realize that
you can prepare.
We got to pick up the pace. It can't be like a long thing because you have to, set up. Not that you set up twice, but it's like you have to set up everything, which could take an hour or so.
Yeah.
And then you got to record it all, make sure all the performances are good. Maybe you have to tune vocals or whatever it is, and then you have to mix it all. So you don't want like them to stop, where you start wasting time.
Yeah.
I heard this thing that bigger bands would actually switch strings in between songs. Is that anything ever happened in your sessions before, or you ever seen anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen groups change their strings out. You got to be careful with that because if you put them on too soon and they don't stretch out, they're going to go out of tune faster. So
yeah, especially with the lighter gauges too.
But same thing with like drums. Like I've seen people like change out drum heads throughout sessions because the snare drum was just getting too much of a beating and needed, it was dead. So here's the PDF that these guys sent me. And so, for example, they told me the drummer wants to use the Thomas Star Classic with 2 rack toms and 2 floor toms. He's bringing his own snare drum. He's going to bring his own bass pedal. Looking for some kind of percussion. The one guitar player is going to use a Marshall amp with his pedal board. The other guitar player is going to use another Marshall with his own pedal board. The third guitar player is going to use a Mesa amp.
So it really just has everything.
Yeah.
Mesa's like my go-to clean tone, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. And then they gave like the first song is called In Ordinary. It's going to be 160 beats per minute. They gave me an idea of guitar tones that they're looking for, gang vocals. They're going to double their vocals. So they already have everything kind of listed for me, so I have an idea of what's...
Yeah. Is this like a heavier band?
Yeah.
What was their... who were they?
They're a younger band. You might actually... They used to go to Williamsville High School. Cobras is what they're called.
I've never heard of them, but...
Yeah.
They're a heavier...
Younger group, yeah. Heavier, but like in an older AC/DC...
Yeah. That's cool.
Like not speed metal or anything. Yeah.
Oh, just like Black Sabbath kind of
grungier. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool stuff. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff I like.
One thing that was crazy, like before I came to BOCES, is like when I would like tell people that I was coming here, and I'd be like, "Oh, my teacher is gonna be Mr. Hunt." They'd be like, "Oh, I think I know that guy." Like everybody like knows you. Like when I went to see your son's band, A Letter to Elise at I think it was Hard Rock, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was your son. And then especially my uncle, my uncle Richie. I'm pretty sure you worked with their band Girl Pope way back when, right? Like, what did you like do with them?
Well, he recorded a couple of their albums. The first one I did with them was The Whole Scene Going.
Yeah, that I know record. That one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was good. But Richie and I went to high school together.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and he was in one of my bands in high school for a little bit.
That's cool.
Then, when he was with Girl Pope with the other two, with Mark and Brandon, those we all went to school together.
Wow.
But yeah.
Small world.
Yeah,
crazy.
I was talking to one of the producers. You're at GCR, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was talking to one of the producers. His name is Jared. He's live producer, so he doesn't really he told me he never really done anything studio, but he said he knew someone from GCR. I can't really remember the name because I couldn't hear anything because of the music, but he said he knew someone from GCR. If I had his name, I'd tell you, but I totally forgot.
Could be Jay Zabricki, could be Rich Ellis, could be Mike, or Fred Betchen.
Yeah, I see him again. I'm going to there's a Nirvana tribute at Town Ballroom, that area. He's producing there, so I'll have to ask him next time I see him.
Yeah.
But
nice.
Yeah, he was telling me a story. He mixed for Foreigner when they were still playing. He was telling me that he had to do something. There was 2 amps or something. He had a problem with a amp that was 2,500 watt, and then there was an amp that was 2,000 watt. And he was telling me that the main guy from Foreigner, the mixers from their band, could hear the difference between the two amps, even though the one that was 2,500 was lowered 3 decibels. He was telling me that he didn't. What is your opinion on that?
That he can hear the difference?
Yeah.
I mean, some people can hear crazy stuff. That you have sample rate and bit depth. You have some people who are real audiophiles say that they can hear the difference between a 192 kilohertz sample rate opposed to 44.1, but I can't hear the difference there.
Yeah. Steve Albini, not personally, but you know him, right? He was saying that Kurt Cobain, he had 3 DS1 pedals, and he could 2 of them were supposedly broken. Kurt could hear a difference, but Steve, he didn't hear a difference at all. So he was amazed by that.
It's when people have that thing where they can see colors when they listen to music.
Mm-hmm.
That's the coolest thing ever.
Oh yeah, I think that comes with emotions too.
Is it?
I think some of it
that's
cool.
I don't even
red
know how that would work.
red angry kind of thing.
Yeah,
Nirvana I get blue because that's their vibe with the.
Yeah,
it's a weird I don't even know,
yeah.
It's just a cool thing that.
I think
happen.
if it's something that's yours that you use a lot, I think you can.
Oh yeah,
easily tell
if it's that you have.
If something's wrong or different.
Mm-hmm.
I can always tell when I walk in the classroom if something was moved. I don't know why, but it's it's kind of a joke with the joke with the staff is that I'll walk in and I'm okay, where did this come from? Or why is this here?
Those pink flamingos. I bet those stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
There's so
wait, do you know the context behind that?
No.
The flamingos
just
just showed up.
I have no idea.
I think it's Miss Sass.
I don't know if it is.
It's one of the classmates. Not some. It's
Maybe
from the
Josh.
school. It's definitely not Josh.
No.
It's one of the girls that in the other
girls?
classroom, in the photography classroom.
Interesting.
I think we're the only ones that have them in our rooms, though.
Really?
I feel like I've seen one on the drinking fountain, but other than that, I haven't seen any. One thing I found out just before this is that you're in the what is it, Buffalo Music Hall of Fame?
Yep.
Brad I didn't even know that. How did you? Why? How are you in there?
So just because of all the local albums I've done.
Oh wow.
And everything. So that's what I was nominated for.
That's sick.
For producing or playing for?
Producing and recording.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Recording as a studio musician kind of, or?
No, as the engineer.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's cool. That's still cool.
Yeah.
So you just came up with that, it just happened?
Well, you have to be nominated. So I think my wife nominated me, and then there's another group of people that worked on the file.
Was that always something that you've wanted to be a part of, or like did?
I had no idea. I didn't even think I'd be part of it.
Oh, really?
Wow.
You know?
Well, still cool. It's a cool accomplishment
yeah.
to have. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's an honor, but I never thought like,
Did you have to give a
like, why would
speech?
I be in it? You know?
Did you have to give a speech?
I did.
How was that?
Was there like a bunch of people there?
Yeah. Well, it was at, now it's called Electric City, but at the time it was a club called the Trafalmador, which is next door to Shays in that, in that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to give like an acceptance speech, and I don't really like talking in front of a large group.
Did you get like a trophy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coming up with a speech, you didn't even think you were gonna like ever get the.
That's cool still though.
Yeah.
What is a like one of your hardest like challenges or problems that you come up like when you're in a session, like as a producer?
I think the hardest thing is when you can have different types of personalities in the room. And some personalities obviously can be hard to deal with, and other personalities are easier to deal with.
Right.
But that's probably like the biggest challenge is when
Working around that.
if you meet somebody or you're working with someone that you don't necessarily see eye to eye on, you know.
Oh yeah.
But again, it's all about like making them feel
Comfortable.
yeah,
Welcomed. Yeah.
comfortable, important. You know.
If it's more of someone that's like, I guess like a no, I want it to sound like this, but you know that it won't like sound as good with their opinion, and like it might sound better with like your like say if you want a bigger sound and they just want more of a raw sound, like do you just go with they want, or do you go with what you know would sound better?
Ultimately, I'll go with what they want.
Okay.
You know, I may show them or like advise them, like, hey, I think you could try this, and maybe spend a couple minutes to show them to see if they do like it or not. But ultimately, if you're paid as the engineer, they are the producer of their own recording.
Okay.
And you want them to leave happy with what they want, you know, as opposed to he forced us to do this and then he made us do that, you know?
Yeah. Do you like do any like personal like music projects, like release like personal songs or anything, or do you just work with and release stuff under like bands?
No, I've got my own music that's out there. I've been doing this one project where essentially I program the drums or write all the guitars and bass and everything, and then I give a mix to a friend of mine, and then she sings over it. So I'll give her like maybe 10 song ideas, and then if anything speaks to her, she'll record over it. So it's been kind of a cool thing because we don't really sit in the same room and work on it. Like I'll come up with some ideas and I'll give them to her, and some of them are like a minute long, some are 4 minutes long or whatever, and then she'll pick and choose.
Yeah. Do you have like a home studio that you work on, or just like PC that you just have like stuff for?
No, I mean I've got Pro Tools on my laptop, but I don't have anything else.
You
Really.
just like plug right into an interface and just call it a day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm doing the same thing pretty much. Like I have like a laptop. I don't know if I have a floor pedal that has a USB, so it goes right into my laptop. So it kind of works as an interface. I also have my own interface for other things, like for voice, like if I want to do like a quick, like just a hi-hat. But do you have any like advice for me if I like, since I want to start doing stuff like that?
I would say if you have to get a new interface or one that's going to be larger to do more mic inputs, try to think of what you possibly may want to do in the future and get an interface that will fit that, as opposed to, you know, like, well, I know I want to record my voice and maybe some guitar, so I only need one input. Okay. It's like, well, what if you want to record drums at home at some point? Then you're going to need more than one. You know? Right. So see if you can get one that can either expand over time, or maybe get one that has 8 inputs to begin with, and then you can record a full group.
So I don't even do audio stuff like that. I do more video stuff. So like I just finished like recording and editing and stuff, a short film that I was working on. I think I told you about it. I finally finished that. I'm submitting it to like Tech Wars. It's like a thing that our school does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
That's all right. It's probably just motion.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh. No, that's fine. So I'm proud of that. Those personal projects are like my favorite thing to work on. Like you can do stuff like I've edited for other people, but like when you get a personal project that you finish, that's like the best thing, the best feeling, especially when you get to release it and see people like,
Yeah.
the internet's such a cool thing if it's used correctly. You know what I'm saying?
As we go through the year, so it'll probably start in the third quarter. I usually let both classes, like obviously we're going to be doing things that I want to cover that we need to cover, but I'll give you like, here's time, like if you want to use every Friday to work on a personal project or whatever it is, like gives you like everyone their own choice. Yeah.
One thing that I think we should do, because we haven't done like that much like video stuff, but I feel like doing like come up with like a short film and then just have like a week to just like do it. I feel like that'd be a cool little assignment.
Yeah.
To do, just like work on, some like video stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you have like a nemesis? Like somebody like your rival in like the industry? Like it doesn't have to be like a real rivalry, but like it's just
like a respectable.
No. I mean, I'm friends with everybody.
Yeah.
So I don't really have. Like,
I mean, I consider myself rivals with some of my friends. Not like real rivals, but like friendly competition. No, you just all friendly with everybody.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's the way to go, really.
Yeah.
How has the role of a producer changed with the evolution of technology?
Well, I think there's more to know now. Like you can't just know a little bit because like all the technology that's there, you have to like stay current with it all.
It did evolve really fast once they.
Yeah.
I think like after the like 80s or something, like it just went really fast. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gets more expensive to do stuff for sure.
Well, it just got more complicated too, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean sometimes you have to like it's almost like you're more of a software engineer than like an audio engineer because you have to deal with all that nonsense.
So it's more software now than anything.
Yeah, I mean we obviously there's hardware too, but it's all different pieces of equipment that range from how complicated they are and what they can do.
This is kind of relates to this. So me and Jared were talking about like, how there will always be like a human live mixer, but do you think that like there will always be like an actual like physical being, like person always being a producer no matter how far technology goes,
especially with like AI and
stuff? Do you think like AI could like replace producers, or do you think producers will always stay human?
I think the producers will always be a human aspect to it.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting with AI, like we had a student last year who couldn't really write lyrics, which is fine. I don't write lyrics either, but he wanted to write a song about a specific thing, and we did it in GPT.
Yeah.
And like you can take that stuff obviously and not use it, but at least it's like, I think what's good about that type of use for AI is that if you have writer's block or don't know where to get started, at least that can help you get started. Like don't use it as the final draft or anything, but like at least you can look at that and
be like, I know where to start off.
Like, what do you think about like just AI and like art, like any art, like pictures, video, music? Is it like just like if you use it as inspiration, then it's fine, but like, I feel like most people won't use it as that, and they'll just be like, I can just skip all this and just make what I want to make, even though like you're not really an artist, because technically it's not AI art.
I don't think it's like, I think anything without emotion isn't really art.
Well, art is I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna sound like a nerd, but art is like, the definition of it is like human expression, basically. And so if it's just made with like a computer, I feel like that's just, I'm like against AI art, like AI in art.
It's just not real art, because it's not
at least like
art is emotional, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. At least like for like those
painters.
big things. But like using it for inspiration, like that's cool. But like I feel like it's more of like a thing that we don't really need that much. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like it makes things easier, but then it's like at what point does that just mean it does it for you,
Right. I think people need to be involved all the time.
exactly.
But I think you can find ways to use AI in a way that's helpful. Like we went to a conference and the one speaker was talking about using AI for like a school project. Mm-hmm. But what he was saying was use AI, but use it in order to teach people how to use it, you know, without using it for the whole project. Like if I give you, let's say, let's produce a commercial. You don't do the whole thing in AI.
Yeah, there was a
like
few
write
of
the
those.
script.
There was a few of those that came
right,
out.
Like maybe you have it like write the script, but then you take that script and you revise it and make it better.
I'm pretty sure like Coca-Cola like released a whole commercial with like AI. I'm pretty sure also Toys R Us might have done that, but I saw that. I don't know if they were actually like official, but I know that they made them. Mm-hmm. That was like a little bit weird, but yeah, it's definitely something to it's like I don't know, especially it's evolving fast.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like just like last month I was seeing Will Smith like eat like spaghetti.
Oh my God, I seen the evolution.
And then all of a sudden it's like it looks so good. It's like crazy. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Can you share a memorable experience from one of your sessions? Like a cool moment that you've like
somebody
seen
that
a
you
song,
met,
like something that really sparked you, like, oh, I like how that sounds, or something cool, so like a cool person you met.
Yeah. Well, I mean, almost everybody has been great.
No bad experiences?
Not really, you know.
That's good.
Trying to think of a specific one. I don't know.
Just most of it, like, because everyone's different there. Like, everybody has their own unique way of doing things.
Yeah.
So that would be definitely something.
Yeah, for sure. Like today, I've got a session after school today with a group. We're going to be cutting some new bass tracks and whatnot. I don't know. It's like they're all different. You know, it's like they all have like memorable moments from all of them.
That's cool.
Do you ever get like, because I mean, you always have like, you just told me you were working with a band after school and then you have another band you just told me about. Do you ever get lost with the amount of projects you have to do, or like, because with my ADHD brain, I get like lost when I have more than one project. Do you ever get like lost, like don't know where to start after like starting another project with another band, or not really? I
don't necessarily get lost, but I do have a problem. Like if someone says it's no rush. So to me, when someone says, hey, it's no rush, like I constantly goes on the back burner, you know? So it's like, I would rather someone say I need it by December 18th.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I know that I have to get something done. Like if it's getting them a copy of the mixes, or if it's mixing a song for them, or if they need to get in the studio by then. But if it's something where it's like, there's no rush, don't worry about it. It's like, then it's like, okay, it's never gonna get done now.
I'll even give myself, like for personal stuff, I'll just make like up a deadline just so that I actually do it.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely good to have some time that you have to get it done, so you're not just like pushing it off forever.
So it's more, you don't get like, not motivated, but like, I don't really know like how to word it, but you just don't like, you kind of like don't have the I guess motivational pressure to like do stuff when someone says that.
Right. Yeah. But normally, like when you're in the studio with them, it's easy to keep those projects separate because you're with different people at different times, right? So, for example, today I've got that session from like 3:30 to 6. It's going to be short, and then I've got practice from like 7 to 10. So that's two separate projects, but it's two different things. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then on Saturday, I've got a recording session with a group. But that's a third, let's say a third project. But because we're all meeting at specific days and times, it doesn't really matter, as opposed to you have these three things going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think
is there a time limit because we're coming up on 30 minutes, but I have like just like one or two more questions.
Let me ask my question, then you can ask
you're good.
So, what are your like opinions both like on the comparison with analog mixers and digital mixers? Like, what do you like more, and like what are your pros and cons on that?
I think I prefer the analog mixer just because it's easier to understand the signal flow of the console. Just because with the digital boards, you can kind of like change the way that everything flows of how the mics get in and how the audio gets out. So it's almost like I feel as though an analog console like the SSL we have here is easier to learn than...
You just like having that physical touch.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to ask your finale?
I just have like a few more questions. This is like not anything to what we were doing, but do you play any like video games? Because I'm a big gamer. I don't know about you.
The only game that I really play is Red Dead Redemption. I don't
that
have
one's
a-
good. That one's good.
I haven't. I've like played I probably have a good like maybe 4 or 5 hours on the game, but I'm not even close to like even. It's a beautiful game though. It's really good so far.
Yeah.
How long do you think you've like put into that game?
You know, I don't even know because really I just kind of go on a rampage with it. I just
run
play
around?
to just do like the free play. I don't even like
Do the
follow
missions or
the
anything?
story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like. Open
And the
world
only
games.
time I played is if Ali brings his game console over to
Yeah.
our house.
That's
No,
cool.
I just like to hang out with the boys, kind of. That's cool.
Yeah, there's like open world games, especially like I played like Breath of the Wild. I have like so many hours on that game, but it's like I have not done like anything. It's crazy. 'Cause I just like walking around. You play have you played any Minecraft?
No.
That's like my childhood game right there. That was like for sure like my favorite game of all time.
Yeah. I
should-
mean, we used to do. I mean, obviously this is an older game console, but like when the kids were growing up, we had the Wii at our house. And
Oh, the
everything,
Wii.
So we did that.
Yeah, I love the Wii. Wii Sports.
Yeah. Wii Sports,
Yeah.
Roblox,
Roblox.
Roblox.
Yeah.
I love Roblox.
Carnival games.
Carnival games. Oh my God, those are some deep memories right there. Oh my God.
That was
Okay.
a normal elevator.
I think we got the normal elevator. There's so many. Okay. I got one more very big question
Grand finale.
before we end off the whole podcast. You really got to think about this one. Okay, here we go.
Gets deep.
Would you rather have unlimited bacon but no more games, or unlimited games but no games?
What? How can you have unlimited games and no games?
I thought it was pretty clear. Do you need me to repeat it?
Yeah.
Okay. Unlimited bacon, but no more games. Or, on the other hand, unlimited games, but no games.
Well, I don't like bacon, so I'm going with the second one.
Oh. I would personally take the bacon, but, that's a respectable answer.
Sell the bacon.
Would you take the bacon?
Yeah, you could sell the bacon.
Yeah, I'd
Unlimited
sell the
money
bacon,
right there.
but- Yeah, I mean, like, if you don't like bacon, respectable answer. Well,
Oh yeah.
thank you for coming on the Nonchalant podcast, the first
Yeah, of course.
episode. Anything else? Promote anything to all the one people that are going to see this?
No, we're good.
It's probably only going to be you watching it, but 1,000 likes and we'll do episode 2. All right. Thank you so
right,
much,
thank you.
Mr. Hunt.
Yeah, thanks for
Awesome.
having me.
All right.
Peace out, everybody.